What's the haps? I'm Maroka, and welcome back to WildStar Walks. We find ourselves this month in Whitevale, which is a snowy kind of territory, and I felt that was kind of appropriate for the time of year. It's kind of winter months, so might as well go do something snowy. We are in Locust Dawn, which is less of a settlement and more of a sort of a, well, a giant robot is really what it is. It's a freebot encampment. Those crazy freebots that turned a giant, kind of evil-looking robot into a home. Sure, why not? I don't entirely remember the story around here. This is a much lower level area, so beats me. What level are these guys? Level 24. A little higher level than we were last time, but not a whole heck of a lot. So we've got an interesting walk lined up, so I suppose let's see if I can remember what button I assigned to make me do walking. No, that's sitting down. I should remember these things ahead of time. There we go. Let's go for a bit of a stroll. Let's head down around the lakeside, because down the lakeside is actually kind of towards the edge of the area. This takes us kind of off the map, which, if you know me, and a lot of you do know me, that's my favourite kind of place to walk to. So I hope that the territory I've got picked out this time is going to be about half an hour long. I'm hoping that's kind of what's going to go down. We'll see. I'm kind of still reasonably poor at actually estimating kind of exactly how far distances are at walking speed in WildStar, because it's not something you do very often. I kind of scouted it out ahead with a hoverboard ahead of time, but that's hardly a good way to get a feel for distances in this. But I think, you know, half an hour or thereabouts should get me to the interesting places I want to show you. Because it turns out that I kind of was just bombing around, trying to find somewhere reasonably interesting. Yeah, I found some cool stuff. So we're going to go for a wander around the lakeside. So let's go through some of the stuff people said last time. I asked you for comments and questions and topics and things to talk about. I will touch on all the salient points. First and foremost, Sell Me Puppies has something relevant, which is, I like the commentary in the game. Cool. I'm glad you do. I'm hoping people will like the game. They play Spiral Knights on and off mostly because they like the look of the game and mindless gameplay they can use to kill time. Also love WildStar. Could you try zooming in more to show the character? Well, I could probably do that. Yeah, let's have a bit of a zoom in. See my character's bushy tail. Or whatever. And trying to clear up your hood. Also, additionally, Pippin369 says the HUD feels slightly cluttered. Yeah. That was because I'm trying to play an MMO, which has, it's a fairly complex MMO, and it's got a lot of HUD on it, and I was trying to play it, for the purposes of recording before, in a 720p window. That's not ideal. Is this guy gonna wake up? No, he's yellow, it's okay. He won't, no! The discovery vanished before my eyes. That wouldn't have happened if I was not walking. I didn't realise discoveries could vanish like that. That's the first time I've seen that happen. I thought the discoveries just kind of stayed until someone found them. Huh. I had no idea they did that. I could have found some cool stuff there. Could have found a costume or something. That would have been cool. I did not. So yeah, a lot of the complaints around this series was mostly focused on the idea that you couldn't see a lot of stuff because there's too much like portraits. Previously the portraits were down like here, right above my face. All this, I mean, I got rid of a lot of this, but this was all right up. There wasn't much. There was just kind of a couch in the middle of the screen just surrounded by UI, and I get that. I mean, I don't normally play this game in a 720 window, because I'm normally playing it for my own entertainment purposes. So I was normally playing it in 1440 by 900, so UI wasn't too bad. So this is improved. We're recording at 1080 this time. Whether the video gets to you in 1080, I'm not sure about. So the important point is, I can't remember if I think I was discussing, last month I discussed contemplating buying monitors, right? I asked for advice, nobody provided any, so I guess my audience has not bought any and could not offer any advice to me. Okay, no worries. I'm going to have to look at the box, which is still in my room. Hang on. It's Asus VG248. That's the one. I got it. That's a 144Hz monitor. WildStar does not display at 144Hz. I can't get anywhere close to that, but In some areas I can get over 60, so at least it's some manner of improvement. Depends entirely on the game as to whether I can get anywhere close to that. It's not like I've got a low-end computer, it's just weirdly seems to struggle with some stuff from time to time. And MMOs is just, well, hey, there's a lot going on. Kind of rendering quite a big world here. So, that's maybe a little understandable. I've got myself, yeah, let's get rid of my nameplate over my head there. Also bought another monitor to go with it, which was the Asus VS248. I think it was the VS. I think the VG is the, I guess the G is like gaming monitor or something. Hence the high refresh rates, the 144 Hz monitor. And then the other one's just a standard 60 Hz one, because, well, to be honest, how often do you do gaming on dual monitors? You kind of don't. Literally the only game in history that I've ever played that did use dual monitors effectively was Gratuitous Space Battles. For what it's worth, I tried playing Gratuitous Space Battles. That was one of the first things I did to test it out. I was like, I wonder how Gratuitous Space Battles actually does on here. Turns out I broke Gratuitous Space Battles entirely, which I'm going to go on a limb and assume is an artifact of trying to run a game at 2 separate frame rates. By stretching it over 2 monitors, I'm basically, as effectively, I guess, trying to tell the game to run at both 144 and 60 Hz. Pro tip, guys, don't do that. That's not a great decision in life. No, I may never be able to run Gratuitous Space Battles again. I don't know how I fix that. I can't launch the game anymore, so I don't know how I get into the settings to change it. That's a problem. I guess maybe I would have to set my primary monitor, this one, back to 60 Hz, and then launch the game with both monitors in 60 Hz. It's not something it wasn't, you know, heartbreaking. I wasn't like, oh my god, that was my favorite game and now I can never play it again. It's something that's like, hey, it's a nice little diversion. I enjoyed it a great deal. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind having access to it from time to time. I do like Whitevale. Whitevale's a great area. This sort of gravelly, beachy kind of thing is maybe not the most beautiful scenery, but the rolling hills in the background of pink clouds and beautiful aurora hanging in the sky. It's rather cool. There's going to be some swimming involved in this, I think. There are routes that you might be able to take that don't involve swimming if you're going by a hoverboard, but I'm not. We're going for a walk here. We're going for a stroll. We're going to see the landscape. We're going to see the world. So we're kind of... Oh, yeah, we're way off the map here. Yeah. This is where he started. Locust Dawn is where he started. Just up past the Gas and Guzzle... I think that's... It's either past the Gas and Guzzle or that one is Thade. I'm not sure. One of those. It's the Exile capital. So this walk is probably not very accessible to the Dominion. Though there is a Dominion hold... Where the devil is it? There is Dominion somewhere around here. Is it... Pale Rock Post? Shatterforce Outpost. That'll be the one. That'll be it. Shatterforce, yeah. That's a dummy term. Yeah, Dominion will be over there, so they can get here. This is a cross-faction zone, certainly. So yeah, maybe they can come around here in case people are wanting to follow in my footsteps and maybe they play Dominion Scum or something. Yeah, you gotta swim around this rock. There's no other way around it, I don't think. It's not really ideal swimming attire, but swimsuits are not one of the game's options. Gotta go for a paddle in my long flowing robes and heavy pirate boots. In all respects, I really should be sinking here, if we're honest. But hey-oh. Also, advise caution when swimming too far around here, because of the nature of it, we're like out here. You get much further and the game's like, whoa, where are you going? And there's a little sort of damage meter pops up in the middle of the screen that's like, yeah, if you stay out here for more than a few seconds, we're just gonna kill you. So be careful with that one. A few big falls as well that I will advise against when the time comes, that you might want to take whatever methods to mitigate damage. A few hazardous risks around here. Not for the hiker who is faint of heart. Only for someone who's keen to climb some real hills. Actually, I'm looking at the timer. I'm not sure I'm going to get anywhere near as far as I wanted. Last time I didn't have enough walk, and this time I'm now concerned that I'm going to have too much, because I was like, oh man, I need to go so much further, just on the basis that I just didn't go far enough last time. I got halfway around it and I was like, oh, we're only like 10 minutes into this. Whoops. And I've run out of hiking territory. Oh, my bad. So I desperately don't want that to happen again, but now that we're like 10 minutes into the walk and I only just made it around the corner of the first bay. Oh well. There's a lot of hills around here. This bit's where you're going to want to watch your footing a little bit, I think. So yeah, game HUD and stuff. I'm hoping it looks better at 1080. I'm hoping you're liking that a lot more. The stuff's out of the way. Sell Me Puppies was like, oh yeah, they spent most of the time looking at the map. And also enemies overhead names, I don't know. I guess I can turn those off, but hey, what enemies? We're here. We're not supposed to be here. There are no enemies out here. There is nothing out here. We are outside the map. Which continues to surprise me because someone has done a lot of work on creating some phenomenal scenery for an area where a player is never supposed to be. That's mind-boggling to me. I was like, they put a lot of work into this. I mean, surely the ideal way would just be throw up a few cliff faces that the player can't get round and make the water in the area, you know, that sort of soft kill barrier that's like, haha, where are you going? No, turn back or you're gonna die. That would be the ideal design there. Nope. They just got all these snowy hills. And they put trees and hills and scenery, and someone had to do a lot of design work here. And I would be willing to wager there are not many players, probably at all ever, who have played this game who will have come around this way. There's no reason to. There's no quest lines, there's no crafting materials to scavenge, there's no enemies to fight, there's no weird secret world boss. At least High Henge actually had a world boss. There was a reason to go up to High Henge. Players won't go up there often, but hey, there's a world boss. Some of them are going to go up there sooner or later. Someone's going to get interested and go, hang on, I want to go... There's a path up there, there's a thing up there. I want to go, you know, actually fight that. To the best of my knowledge, there is nothing to come up here for, other than your own explorative curiosity. I have a lot of explorative curiosity, so hey. I'm okay with this. Alright, this next drops the doozy. When I get over the crest of this hill, you're going to want to figure out a way to get down it fairly safely, I think. There's a bit of a drop kind of coming over this ridge. My best bet that I found was something viable only to an explorer, but let's be honest, you have to be the explorer kind of player or the likely kind of people to come around here. Actually, tell you what, I've got my jetpack jump. There is Explorer's Safe Fall. I should probably just use that, actually. It's probably the better option. So over here, can and probably will kill you if you let it. So that's going to give me... How long does that last? It doesn't say how long it lasts. It says falling damage reduced by 60%, but doesn't tell me how long it lasts. I guess I want to get right to the edge, but... Oh, Explorer Safe Fall. There we go. Oh, there we go, 4,000. Yeah, I was like, when do I activate this? Last time I did it with the jetpack jump. This time I was like, I'm going to do this an entirely different way. Ooh. Admittedly, I took, what, 4,000 damage there? That's a 60% reduction, so presumably I took 10,000 damage, was what I should have taken. I got 40,000 health. I could have survived that. In theory. But it killed me before. The first time I came around this way on my hoverboard, boop, you're dead. Would you like to rest at the nearest graveyard? I guess so? Fine, alright. I do like my jetpack jump. I'm going to keep that equipped, but... To be honest, once you got the jetpack jump, you use that so often, and the slow fall, you kind of don't... You just don't seem to find much use for it as much anymore. Came in handy there, though. Won't deny that was pretty useful. So I've got to spot more swimming around this cove here. I've got to go around another rock. Bit of a dive into the icy waters of Whitevale. It's not far, there's just beach around here. So yeah, back to your comments. Let's go back into those. Pippin additionally said, not sure they're liking WildStar as the game. Environment's pretty, I think, mostly an issue with the HUD. There's a lot of visual clutter when you get further away. I think that was when I was, like, looking over the world. He was like, yeah, there's just, like, way too much going on. I guess so, but it's an MMO. They're wanting to shove a lot of content into that world. When you're out here, it's like, this is pretty open and quiet. These are the kind of walks I like, to be honest. I'll try and find more like this, which I think are less visually cluttered. Any game you can get ENB sweet effects or visual enhancing mods might look nicer. Skyrim, for example, can look really freaking gorgeous if modded properly, he goes on to say. I don't have Skyrim. I've never been particularly sold on the idea of Skyrim. I couldn't really see myself playing Skyrim. I'm still just in love with this game far too much. Skyrim, I'm just... Skyrim just leaves me cold, I think. I've not played it, but just the idea of Skyrim, I'm just like... I don't know, it doesn't sound particularly appealing to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't. Anyway. Let's see, other questions. Joel Ortiz, brackets the Master Tin, says, you know what, I'm thinking you should probably rename it if you want. What, from WildStar Walks? I don't know, I couldn't find anything else that would work better than WildStar Walks. WildStar Wandering, I guess? I don't know. I think I'll stay with WildStar Walks. I'm quite happy to listen to your suggestions if you have ideas that might work better than WildStar Walks, but you know me and alliteration. I mean, this is, I'm going to call this one the Whitevale Waterside Wander, let's be honest. I'm going to try and come up with the most alliterative titles I can last time, because the last time was the High Henge Hike, which is great. That one worked great. Whitevale Waterside Wander, this one is. Call this, you know, a hiking trail needs a name, right? So I'm gonna try and name these. That's what this is. Spot more swimming around here? Where are we at? Down the cliffside. Yeah, we're gonna have to swim around another rock here. Unless I can get up... No, no, I can't get up there. No, no, that's just silly. No, I'm not getting up that. That's what I mean. It's like they could have just put some walls like that. Just put a big steep wall that a player literally... Wow, the camera makes a splashing noise when the camera goes under. Interesting. Yeah, they could have just put that kind of terrain and just stopped a player from coming around here. No, they didn't. They could have just had nothing back here. So, the fact that there are just these crazy ice flows and stuff... Yeah, that's really cool. That's super cool. Can I get onto the ice flow? That's the important thing. It looks really high. I know I got onto it before, and it doesn't look anywhere... yeah, there we go. It doesn't look anywhere near as high when you're bombing around the place on a hoverboard, but when you walk up to it on foot, it's like... It's a pretty tall wall, actually, just floating in the water there. Okay. Pippin also said they'd like to see the end of Without Within. I delivered. That was, yeah, okay, since you asked, and it only took me like another couple episodes to finish it, and I wanted to see the end of it myself. Yeah, I delivered on that one. Hope you enjoyed Without Within. I might try to do more visual novel-y content over the course of the next year. I don't know. There's still Valhalla somewhere in the works, and I will do Valhalla when Valhalla comes out. I was looking briefly at Read-Only Memories, which I know was on sale recently. I should have picked it up while it was on sale. It might still be on sale. I think it may still be on sale. I should probably pick it up while it's on sale. Read-Only Memories is made by an entirely different developer, and it's a it's a different kind of game, but it's visually very similar, and it's set in exactly the same universe. I'm not sure how that came to pass, but it did. And I do like that universe, so I should probably delve into that at some stage. So, yeah, Read-Only Memories is, yeah, cyberpunky stuff with less bartending, I guess? So it's more of a point-and-click adventure thing than a visual novel, so, yeah. Can I turn down the noise on the water? Is that sound effects? I guess it must be. It's like, the water just seems really loud. That's a better, more appropriate sound effect volume. It's like, that's the loudest water I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I kind of in a weird place with my channel right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I got MMOs on the go. I still want to do the critique. I just want to do more critique, and I just don't seem to be finding the time to do stuff. What with all my computer troubles. I mean, in spite of all my upgrades, I got the new monitors. I even as soon as I got the new mods, I started doing the 1080p content. And as soon as I started trying to render 1080p content, I've run into nothing but troubles, which is why there's been a few days where I've not had any video, unfortunately. Sorry. The reasoning for that is my computer literally was just breaking every time I tried to render video out. Some of the 1080 content I've been able to render out at 720, which is what I did with Blade and Soul. It's what I did with that golf game. It's, to be honest, almost certainly what I'm going to do with this. I would like to be able to actually genuinely render them out at 1080. For some reason I could do Tabletop Simulator to 1080, that was okay, that was no problem. AIPD, I should have had more video on that, but that was genuinely just destroying my computer every time. I don't know what the issue is. I think either it's haunted, as I've maintained for many a year now, I think my PC's haunted, or it's the power supply, and at this stage I've replaced nearly every component in my PC within the last 2 years, I think. It could be the motherboard as well, I guess. If it's the motherboard, ouch. Don't want it to be the motherboard, that's a lot of work to replace. I think the likelihood is, though, is that it is the power supply, because it's the sort of thing that causes lots of weird problems that you don't know what they are. And I've got lots of weird problems that I don't know what they are. I've run lots of diagnostic tests on my PC, and invariably the answer comes back from them all. It's like, yeah, your PC's fine. I've tried looking at my hard drives, it says my hard drive's fine. I've tried running a memory test on the old memory sticks, it said they were fine. At least one did, and the other one broke in the middle of the test. So that was what led me to think it was them. So I've upgraded my RAM sticks in the computer. I've not got more of it, I just got faster memory. So I was hoping that would make a difference to things. I guess it probably put, in terms of performance for stuff, I guess it must be a little bit better now. It's kind of an upgrade I could probably have done without, but whatever. That's unfortunate, but it's something I was looking at upgrading at some stage, so I guess it's done now. That should last me for a while, whatever. Yeah, power supply is literally all I can fathom. I'm going the wrong way. I don't want to be going that way. I want to be going this way, I think. I want to carry on following the water's edge. I was heading that way because I was thinking that's where the cool stuff is. There is somewhere around here, there is something I want to show you guys. Something that very few players are probably aware exists. And yeah, I want to share it with you. Secrets can be found here in WildStar today. Probably not complete secrets, but I don't think a lot of people know about them. There are some silly ones, like the big cheese in Thade. This is not the big cheese. You don't get achieved for it, but it's something. Looking at the questions. Alivi says, I think I have a good question for the new series. Do you think the space exploration should be funded more than it is? I think the US could reduce the military budget a little bit to allow the species to live on through space exploration. I think the US could reduce the military budget a lot. The US spends an inordinate amount on military budget, and ever increasingly less on NASA. I mean, all the major breakthroughs in space exploration these days are ever increasingly falling to private companies. You've got people like SpaceX who are now doing stuff like trying to re-land the first stage. They send a rocket up, the first stage runs out of fuel, separates from the rest of the rocket, so the second stage, etc., can carry on its merry way up into space, and then the big chunk of it, the big empty tank of metal, normally kind of comes down to Earth and is lost. Probably in a fire explosion in the ocean or the desert or somewhere. They usually calculate it so it lands nowhere near any other earthly soul, or does it maybe burn up in re-entry? I don't know. Either way, it kind of doesn't come back and get reused. It ends in tiny pieces, is I think generally where it tends to end. And yeah, they're obviously recently made a lot of headway in getting it back in not tiny pieces, so those big chunks of metal that get the rockets up into space, you can use them again without having to pay for a new one every time, which, you know, dramatically reduces the cost of space flights as a whole, just massively. So, yeah, NASA didn't do that. I think they used NASA's launch pad. That's it. But hey, you don't need to pay for a new launch pad every time. You can reuse a launch pad. NASA kind of had one, and they were like, yeah, you guys can use it. Pretty sure they charged them some money for it, to be honest, but yeah, they were like, hey, yeah, we have a launch pad. So they used the NASA launch pad. And now they can get their first stages back, and now they can send up rockets again, even cheaper. which is, you know, one of the big barriers to entry as far as spaceflight's concerned. It's kind of expensive business. Yeah. Is that where I'm heading? I think that might be where I was heading. If I can't find where I was wanting to find now, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm going to be pretty annoyed. Somewhere around here. What is this? Look at this! There's just icebergs and massive glaciers and huge trees and stuff. I mean, I guess the assets are probably copy-pasted from a stock library of assets that they have to build worlds with. They'll be like, look, here's like 50 trees that we've got to work with. Here's a bunch of rock faces and just chunks of glacier and icy shards of landscape. And whatever landscape builder has, you know, built this has just pulled assets out of a library probably, but at the same time, to say we're here! We've walked from here to here. This is all map. It's not on the map, but it is map. It's still there. This is all a thing that a player can potentially, question mark, get to? I don't know. I would love to climb to like a top of a mountain here or something. That would be the best. That seems like a lofty goal though, because I think that would take it would take dedication and cheatiness. A lot of climbing up exploits, and you definitely want to do it on a hoverboard. You wouldn't want to do it on foot, walking pace. You'd kind of want to do it in a way that would get you faster between surfaces and higher over surfaces and things. There are these paths and things. There are things that look a lot like paths anyway. I think maybe it's just the edge of the snow, because around this, you know, blob here has a kind of a path thing going on as well. It looks like there's paths. They're probably not. It almost feels like they wanted a player to go here, but then maybe they designed the world before they put the content into it. Maybe that's what happened. They're like, here, map designers, make a world, and they went to town and made a beautiful thing. And then the actual, you know, gameplay designers went through and added NPCs and content and enemies and stuff and quest lines, and just kind of left this bit out. And then that doesn't explain the map though, because, you know, this bit should... there's land here. There is land. It should be on the map. It should be like, here be mountains. You can't get past this. This is all mountainous. Don't try. Right, this is where I wanted to get to. Oh! How have I missed this question twice? I missed this question twice. Broken Hero asked, back in Spiral Spiel, Broken Hero asked, what is your favourite song, stroke music genre, and what is your favourite book? My favourite song varies wildly. And music genre depends on my mood, I would say. Lately, I found a band called... I've been pushing these guys greatly every time I have to talk about music in any way, shape or form on my channel, but Ye Banished Privateers, I found it in a game bundle once. They just do sea shanties. They're the best. There's not even like yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, traditional ones. No, they write their own. They write new sea shanties. They're great. And then I very recently, like last week, found a Australian pirate metal band called Lagerstein. They're not bad either, actually. I can recommend them as well. So pirate music's a good one. Going to deviate from the question for a moment to say, what the hell is this place? This is the one I wanted to show you. There's just a cave with a big valve and pipes and a ship in it. What is this? This was clearly supposed to be something, and it's nothing. There's nothing... Well, actually, I tell a lie. Oh, there's enemies, like, behind the pipe. Well, colour me intrigued. What is this? You still can't get into it. Ah. A little bit of me was like, is this like a scientist thing that only scientists can open? But normally you can at least see something within the world. Normally there's like an item that's like, hey, here's a thing that can be clicked on, but not by you, because you're not qualified to click on it. It's like, oh, all right, I actually can't interact with it. It'll just be a little like a switch or a screen or something to interact with. So I sat in front of that valve, probably like that. That would be the bit you would interact with, one would have thought. And I guess like a scientist normally would. There's nothing here. This cave has literally nothing that you can click on or interact with or do anything with. There's just this really crazy, massive... That looks like a bit of our friend from Locust Dawn, actually. That's like it's got like the shoulder pads and like a joint, and that's an arm, isn't it? That is an arm. That's a robot arm. That is a massive, massive robot arm. Oh my god, I think it is. Like, there's like a thumb there and a finger. It's like punched through the cave. And why there's a ship in here, I don't know. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's totally a hand. Look, it's got fingers. Several fingers and a thumb. That's an arm. There's an arm in this cave. It's just nuts. That's crazy nuts. Favorite music, song and music genre? Yeah, pirates. Pirates music, I think, is probably my favorite. I do like a bit of chiptune from time to time, though not all of it. And I used to be really big into rock and metal, and to be fair, I kind of still am. I do enjoy that music, but I don't find myself going out of my way to listen to it all that much these days, to be honest. If given the choice, if I'm given the choice to put some music on, it's usually something video game related, if I'm quite frank. Game soundtracks, or like I say, something a bit chiptuney maybe. Yeah. I mean, I was the biggest fan of Iron Maiden at one point. Not so much anymore, but they're still good. I will still gladly listen to and enjoy any Iron Maiden song, but yeah. They put out a new album not so long ago. I don't think I've even listened to that properly yet. Dragon Force, I was big into Dragon Force at one point. I was actually big into power metal, just generally. Big fan of Sonata Arctica as well, who are a bit more obscure, but they have their fan base, no doubt. They've changed a bit over the years. Sonata Arctica, their old stuff is, by a long margin, still definitely their best stuff, I think. If you go back and listen to, like, the first few albums Sonata Arctica put out, yeah, that's really... I think is it Ecliptica? Ecliptica, I think, was the one that had, like, a lot of their very best songs that are still, like, their very best songs. Go on Spotify and look up Sonata Arctica, Ecliptica, and listen to that album. It's excellent. And my favourite book? I guess most of my life I would probably have said The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's probably still up there. I'm not going to specify any specific one, I'm just going to say a trilogy in 5 parts. It's all good. It's all good. And if I get to sort of name... If I'm going to bend the rules and name series rather than specifics, I would also hazard Foundation by Isaac Asimov, which again is... I don't think he ever intended to write much of it. I mean, the first book, or is it 2 books, are just a series of short stories that he just kind of ties together in separate chapters. Is like, here's a story that takes place over a few years, and here's another story that takes place over a few years, but it's connected to the first one in the narrative, but it's like 100 years later on or something, and then it jumps again another 100 years, and then there's another little bit of intrigue further down the line, and it kind of the first part of the story kind of jumps around a lot like that, and then when he realized he was committed to writing quite a lot more, he kind of sort of settled down and wrote some actual entire, novel-length novels that was like, okay, we're going to stick with the one consistent thing throughout the entire novel. And then there's like 2 prequels, and then there are 4 technically official sequels at the end, but written after his death by authors who were authorized by his family's estate to carry on the story, because the whole point of Foundation was it was supposed to take part over the course of 1,000 years of galactic history. It was set many tens of thousands of years in humanity's future when they've colonized quite a lot of the galaxy, if not all of it. And it was supposed to take over take part over about 1,000 years of like humanity's history. By the time you get to the end of the final book, the final Isaac Asimov book in the story, he's only covered like 500 years of that 1,000 years. It's only 500 years into it, So I think there were a lot of people kind of at the end of it, myself included, who were like, and what happened in the other 500 years? Did anything happen then? I feel like something might have gone down. I want to know what happened at the end of this 1,000-year span. These are cool. These are very cool. And those are cool. And I'll tell you what. Where I wanted to end this walk. Do you know where I wanted to end this walk? Do you know? No, it's not up there. I can't get up there. No, there's no way I can climb up there. It's there, actually. You can get to that. That is where I wanted to be. That is where I was hoping I would have found myself about 5 minutes ago. I haven't. I think that's going to take me another quarter of an hour or so at this pace to get up there, probably. I could probably dash up there on a hoverboard, or I might just say, we're coming back into civilization here. We are definitely approaching civilization. For all of this mountain is actually a quest zone. This is Ichthian territory. Weird fishy people who like to experiment on other races for their own nefarious ends. I don't know. I don't feel like the lore on Ichthians is... maybe I haven't read into it well enough, but it doesn't feel well fleshed out. They're just kind of generically evil as a race. Everyone else kind of has stuff going on. Ichthians, I'm just like, I don't know where Ichthians are coming from other than they seem to just hate all other races because they like experimenting on them with science and things, I think. Yeah, there's a big Ichthian pipe going into the ocean there. Yeah, we're entering quest territory here, so we're coming back. We're back on the map, I think. Yeah, we just kind of come onto the map in the around the last bay or so. And you know what? I never took any screenshots that I wanted to. Like I said I was going to take screenshots of things, and I just haven't. And it's all green around here and gross. I could have taken much better screenshots than this. Can we take... That's a pretty... Hang on. That's still not bad, actually. That's a pretty cool screenshot. I want one of those. So... Yeah, there we go. I got one of them. That's probably... I guess that's what I'm going to use, unless I want to go back round with a hoverboard and find something cool to take a screenshot of. I might go back into that cave and get a picture of that to use for the thumbnail for the episode. At any rate, yeah, outside the Ichthian place. What is this place called? There must be a name for this one. Silver Scale Station, yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so if you go around that bay, this big rock, I think is this big rock. Go around the bay. You can get up this side with a tremendous amount of difficulty, I found, and a hoverboard. The official route would be to go up through the Profitorium 9, up into Silver Scale Station, and up to... That's where I wanted to get. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get to do that anytime soon. Maybe maybe on a later date I'll do like a walk that starts over at maybe like Doomtide Village and comes up this way and winds up there. I'll have to do that another day. Later on in the year or something. Alright, this will do us for now, I think. I think I've gone through everyone's questions, right? We talked about space exploration. We talked about books. We talked about music. We talked about stuff on my channel and technology and whatnot and my problems with it. So thank you very much for watching. I have been Moroka. I can do this. I can try and face the camera and do that. I will see you next time.